You said that the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. That was in Charlottesville there. What does that mean?
So, I mean, I was winning a bunch of races, like all of them, and nothing was happening. And it's like just not an efficient way for one person. That's not a one person type job. You know, it's like requires a whole thing. And it was like, it just wasn't hot enough and I wasn't getting paid. I had a bad business model that relied on winning races instead of like, you know, business considerations for the vendors and the consultants who have a vested interest in raising a bunch of money to spend on TV ads, which is a reason why when you analyze media purchases, paid media advertising, you have to exclude political campaigns from the analysis. This is the literature. This is not me. You have to exclude political campaigns because they are the only industry which is not only still heavily reliant on TV, but it's so disproportionately skewed to TV that they have to pull out political ads to run analysis of normal advertising.
Because it's that abnormal?
Because it's so grotesquely abnormal, the amount of money they spend on TV compared to digital and stuff. But it's because these big money buys are the source of funding for the consulting class, and that's how they run their businesses. And so the incentive isn't to make the mail piece that costs 37 cents in production costs to only cost 37 cents. You know, it's 5 cents for the 35 cents for postage, 2.5 cents to print it. Why am I getting billed $2.50 for this per piece?
Right.
Oh, because the consultant's got to make a buck, the vendor's got to make a buck, and they're going to pay the graphic artist the remaining, you know, 64 cents or whatever the number was, 63.5, 2.5.
So you're saying there's a large amount of just a machine, that the money machine operating inside that it's like an industrial base.
Yeah, it's like there's a large amount of momentum and momentum and inertia in that system. And there's not a lot of retrospective analysis, because what happens is the person who wins, you know, usually it's like they weren't even following the plan that they had. They don't really, like, you know, basically the rule, and I didn't put it in, I'm working on a second book called The Rules of Politics. I don't, title pending. I'm not that egotistical to make it world's rules, but it's just my friends like to call them my rules when I was doing it. So inside joke, subject to change. Anyway, making the juice worth the squeeze. And so it's, you know, it just got to a point where I did not want to become part of that business model. My business model was purely predicated on winning tight races. My business model was, we'll worry about business after we win the primary, like no other objective, no other financial incentives. Like I'm all in on winning, and I'm going to organize my campaigns in that manner. And so basically, you know, I didn't have a lot of consultant friends. I had one that really was on board with the whole thing and the program, who had been in like Reagan's White House and stuff.
So you were not professional, is what you're saying. The guys who were making the money, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you just
overly professional, or primarily that factor. You know what I'm saying?
No, I do understand. It's like no, I'm about
I had a business model, but it's just not competitive long run against the vested interests.
Right. That's not your profession, is what you're saying.
Right. So it might another way to say that is I had an awful business plan.
it's like yeah, I sucked in that profession or something like that. It's just that was not your profession, man. It's a weird thing. It's like how people fit into the economic situation of the social or economic structure, right? And it's like, yeah, it's like I imagine it like this, that you just didn't see yourself fitting into it.
Well, I didn't fit into it. Well, here, so some of the rules here we'll get to. One of the big ones for staffers and operatives is activist or professional. Pick one. I'm an activist. politically. I want, it's not that I want me to achieve something, but I have visions, aspirations, principles, these sorts of considerations. And that's what I want to get done. I don't want to make sure that my check from a client who's about to lose and could better spend that money on a digital buy.
Right.
My thinking was officers eat last, spend a budget. And if there's money left over and we lose, great. If not, well, I failed and I tried my best.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Best Medicine Podcast with Bradley H. Werrell, DO. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe below, either over there or over there. Also, if you're interested in a medical consultation with myself, there's also information below.